Hey guys, how's it going? If you watched my last video, you already know that I have borrowed my friend Cody Ayers of Ayers Mowing. This is his 1755M premium Massey Ferguson compact cab tractor. And I've been using it all evening to do various things like blading some different driveways. I put our big grapple on it. It's a favor grapple, and it's designed for a big skid steer, like up to 100 horsepower skid steer loader. I think it's at least 7 foot wide. But anyway, you can check out the other video to see me using that on this tractor. But this is the first experience I've had with a compact cab tractor, especially a Massey Ferguson one. I have many hours on a no cab New Holland compact tractors, and this is the first time I've done anything with the Massey Ferguson, and I was impressed. I really like this tractor. I'm thinking about purchasing one. That's why I have asked Cody. Well, actually, I didn't really ask him. He told me I could do this if I wanted to, and I decided to do it. I only turned the soft drive back on. I turned that off earlier today when I was using the grapples to have a little more precision. I just wanted to talk about some of the options on this tractor, and that is one of them, the soft drive option. It allows the loader to float when you run over a bump, a hole.
Now, I don't want anybody to get confused, so me and Thomas the train over here will try to explain to you what soft drive is. Now, it's different from float, that you actually push the lever, you know, the lever for the loader. When you push it in and it has a detent, locks in and it'll float, follow the ground if you're, you know, back dragging or trying to push snow or something like that. What it does is puts the hydraulics over onto an accumulator. So it introduces an accumulator with nitrogen gas in it into the hydraulic system of the raised cylinders of the loader. And what that does is it allows it to have shock, kind of like shock absorbers. It turns the cylinders into shock absorbers, kind of. So it allows, so when you hit a big bump, you hit the bump, the loader will actually give instead of just being rigid and be like wham, wham. You'll run into the bump and the loader will do this. Well, on a Massey Ferguson or some other ones that use the accumulator system, you have the option of turning that on and off as needed. So if you're trying to do something precision and the loader's bouncing up and down because of rough ground and you need it solid, you can turn off the feature. Some of them, like a spring ride type deal, I don't know that you can turn them off. But anyway, this one you can turn on and off with that little valve. Continue.
Now, my larger Massey Ferguson 4710 has that on it also. But it's a very nice feature, but you can turn it off with this valve right here. Some of the bigger tractors have an electronic valve. You can turn them on and off from in the cab. With these smaller tractors, typically you have a mechanical valve to cut it on and off. With that big heavy grapple up here on that rough field, and then when I was trying to be precise picking up limbs, it was bouncing more than I wanted it to, so I cut it off. And yeah, so another thing this tractor has on it is third function. Obviously I was using it with the grapple. It has 2 Pioneer male couplings right there to connect to in the cab. It does not, one thing Massey does not have is a live third function. It is a diverter kit. So if you want a live third function on a Massey, you probably have to do it aftermarket. But basically you push this button and then operate the bucket curl to operate the third function. There is not 2 buttons that you can just push it and it actuates. That is one disadvantage to a Massey Ferguson tractor. These small ones anyway. When you get in the bigger ones, Some of them have a live third function, but most of these smaller ones do not. Another option you can get is front fenders. I haven't seen front fenders on any other brand of compact tractor. Now you can get them on, I've seen them on all brands of bigger tractors, but these small tractors like this, Massey Ferguson's the only one. There may be another one, but they're the only ones I've seen that have it. Cody's added a couple things to this tractor. He's added some LED lights right here. Those are pretty cool. He's added a couple LED lights right here. This is a power shuttle transmission on this tractor. It's not a hydro tractor. So basically on the power shuttle versions, which means you can shift from forwards and reverse. We'll get in the tractor and look at that. You can shift from forwards to reverse without clutching the tractor. You do not have to push the clutch in. You just use this here. You're going forwards, you're going backwards. Going forwards, going backwards, and then that's neutral. You don't have to use the clutch to do that. You do have to clutch to change between 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then your ranges here, high, medium, and low. On the hydrostatic tractors, most of those that I've seen have a deluxe cab. I don't think it's something you can get on the power shuttle. The deluxe cab has an air ride seat, so this tractor doesn't have the air ride seat. The deluxe cab also has LED work lights on the cab, front and rear, already installed. And it also, I think, comes with a Bluetooth radio already installed, where this tractor had to have a radio installed in it at the dealer most likely, or Cody may have installed it himself, I'm not sure. These tractors come with one rear remote standard. That's what I was using to operate the hydraulic top link that I stuck on there. Cody didn't have one of those. I'm trying to talk him into getting one because that's probably the best thing there was for a box blade. Of course, this is your 3-point hitch control. Loader, obviously. Down here is your PTO. Right here is PTO. This is a soft start button. You can push this button, and then when you turn on the PTO, there'll be a graduated startup of the PTO, so it doesn't just immediately slam your bush hog on and break something, or it's really hard on the clutches and drive lines, but that is what that's for. Cody added, it's a backup camera, which is really handy for backing up when you're looking forwards and you want to make sure you're not running into anything, or you can watch your blade or anything else you have on the back. There is tilt steering with this lever here. You push that, bring that down. The parking brake is set by just pushing this little lever. There is an updated version of this tractor. It would be the 2855 or 2860, and I think there's a 2850. So the first two numbers are like the model, the last two numbers are the horsepower. So this one is a 1755, which is an older version of a 2855, which is 55 engine horsepower. What I'm looking at is a 2860 with hydrostatic transmission and deluxe cab with all the air ride, LED lights, so on. So this tractor isn't exactly what I'm looking at, but it's as close as I could find. There aren't any tractors out there right now. It's just ridiculous, you know, just ridiculous. Cup holder. These windows, these are neat. They open. I mean, you could spit tobacco out these if you chew tobacco, but you know, I don't do that. So, but you could if you did. This window opens up. Now, this slow moving vehicle sign, I had it off earlier because I do not like this location, and you can't see the top link when you got that on there, or the blade very well, so I took it off. But of course the window opens just like most tractors, and there is a rear wiper standard, front wiper standard, with they're controlled up here. You have and they both have washers. Then you have your front rear cab lights. Down here you can turn on your headlights. And then I think I already explained over here, but you have high, medium, and low, and then 4 gears in each range. So it's a 12 by 12 transmission, 12 forward gears, 12 reverse gears.
Okay, let's stop right here for 1 minute. There's something you need to know about this transmission in this tractor. It's strange, okay? To me, it's strange. It may be perfectly fine to some people that don't know any different, but it's strange to me because everything that I did with this tractor, I was in high range. So, and I wasn't in high range first gear. I was typically in high range second gear, and in some situations, like even pulling the blade with gravel, I was in high range third gear. And that's just strange to me because on the New Holland tractors, on the New Holland compact tractors that I typically run, the TC55 is what I'm referring to. TC55DA, which is an older tractor. The ones before LS made them. I don't remember who made them, but they had the Subaru engine on them. I know that. We still have 2 of them. But your typical working range on the New Holland 55s is medium. You typically run in medium third doing driveway work. Sometimes you may hit medium fourth when you want a little, get on with it. But never in high range are you doing work. And I've hardly ever used low range on the TC55s. Hardly ever. Typically always in medium range doing work, and then high range when you go out and hit the road. Or some strange work like maybe pulling a dump wagon or something on a job site and you're moving along a pretty good clip. And I think those tractors top out at like 18 to 19 miles an hour, which this one does also. So it goes from like third gear being a working gear to fourth gear being a road gear running 17, 18 miles an hour. So it's just strange. I never used medium range while I was doing all these things. And I didn't even mess with medium or low. But not this time. I did at one other time. I was messing with this tractor before I brought it down, and I put it in low. And low is like a creeper gear. I mean, it just barely moves. And then medium is too slow to do anything productive like blading for me. So anyway, I just want y'all to know that the gearing is kind of strange. You only really have, to me, you only really have 3 gears that are at any like usable gears on this gear model for doing like blade work. But anyway, and they're in high range. I just think it's strange. All right, I just wanted to put that out there.
Then you have 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive here. That is a little difficult. Putting it in 4-wheel drive is not hard. Taking out of 4-wheel drive, you have to sometimes back up, pull up, turn the wheels to get it back into 2-wheel drive. So just keep that in mind. If you were to buy one of these, that's a little difficult. You can put this PTO. This is a PTO gear selector. You can choose neutral, or you can choose 540. So this is 540, this is neutral. So what that's for is you can put it in neutral, then you can go to the back of the tractor and turn the shaft manually if you're trying to line up your splines. It just makes it a little easier than typically, I don't know if everybody knows this, but typically on a tractor that doesn't have that, you can turn off the engine and the hydraulic brake on the PTO will disengage. And it's safer to turn off the engine anyway when you're handling a PTO. But if you turn off the engine on most any tractor that has a hydraulic PTO brake, the brake will disengage and you can turn it by hand. I don't know if everybody knows that, but all the Ford tractors that I've ever dealt with and my John Deere tractors that way too. So if the engine's not running, you can turn it by hand. What else about this thing? There is a lock for the loader down here. The the loader stick, you can flip that and this will lock so you can't accidentally hit it. Or if you have a kid playing in here or something while you're working on it, you don't want that, you know, loader come crashing down on you. Of course, you should have a prop under it anyway. These tractors do have mirrors on the outside. There's not one on the inside, but I think on the deluxe cab you do get an inside one. I'm not sure. The non-deluxe cab has this sun visor. The deluxe cab has a pull down scissor type sun visor that I don't care for. Because it comes down to about right here, even when it's all the way up. So that blocks about 3 or 4 inches of your visibility upwards, which is not good, because sometimes when you raise the loader all the way up, you like to see it. And if you're running something like the, just had some pizza. If you're running something like a eliminator saw, that would really hamper your view, especially since there's no sunroof in these tractors, and the roof kind of has a drop in it right here. That's going to cause issues. And then you have that deluxe sun visor that comes down here. I would probably remove that. I mean, I'm not a big sun visor user anyway. Not the screen type. This type I like because it actually blocks the sun like completely. The screen ones, not so much. I mean, most of the tractors I have, the bigger ones, have the sun screens, and they don't really do a tremendous amount. So I would probably remove that if I bought one of these with that on it. So what else is here? Both doors have gas shocks to hold them open. The John Deere I looked at did not have that. Well, you couldn't even get in that side really because there was so much stuff over here. I think you could squeeze through here if you had to. Now, the one thing, this tractor here, it has an advantage over the one that I'm looking at. This one does not have a diesel particulate filter or DEF, which if you're under 75 or 74 horsepower, you do not have to have DEF anyway, which that's the diesel exhaust fluid. I know most of you know what that is, but there are some people that watch that don't know what the diesel exhaust fluid is, but it is another fluid you have to put into the tractor, and it's on tank, so you can inject it into the exhaust to reduce emissions. It causes a chemical reaction in the exhaust to neutralize carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide is the deadly gas that's harmful to your body. So anyway, that's what it's for. Well, these tractors don't have to have that because they're under the horsepower requirement. But most of these tractors that were built, even in this year model, I'm not sure what this one is, but it's probably 2018 ish, maybe 2019. Most tractors like John Deere, Kubota, Coyote, they all have and had a diesel exhaust filter which catches the particulate matter coming out of the exhaust. They already had those on them when this tractor was being built. This one met emissions without that diesel particulate filter, and you know they have to clean out ever so often. This one does not have to do that. Well, Massey Ferguson, when they went to the 2800 series, they stepped up their emissions to tier 5. This is a tier 4, and the John Deere and all the other tractors are tier 4. But Massey, when they went to the new design, when they changed the hood, they moved the throttle. They moved this throttle that's right here on the dash. They moved it up here, which is a nice feature. They put cross-drilled balls in the back, which has category 1. You can rotate it, and then it has category 2, so you don't have to change balls, and you have both categories. You know, they added a few nice features, but they also added a diesel particulate filter to meet the tier 5 emissions. So that is a disadvantage to the newer tractor that I'm looking at, but that's what they make now. This tractor they don't make anymore. So you can't get this tractor without that diesel particulate filter. That is a nice feature of this tractor, but it is what it is. Anyway, I wanted everybody to see what I was looking at, and I also would like to know what other people think about the Kubota L6060. I've been looking at those. I don't know that I like them as good as this tractor, though. This tractor just seems... The Kubota, to me, I know some people are going to get mad, but they seem kind of cheap. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of how I feel about them. This tractor seems to be built more robust than the Kubota tractor. Just everything feels more solid. The biggest thing about the Kubota that I do not like is the treadle pedal. Me and that thing, I can't get comfortable on it. I feel like my legs just, okay, that thing has that pedal and it sets up off the floor, and you gotta keep your foot up there on it, and it just feel like my leg is just hanging up here in the air, and my heel of my boot does not fit on it correctly. The pedal's just not, it doesn't fit me. I know there's a little thing on the side you can push and keep your heel on the floor. Well, that's great when you're going forwards, but when you go backwards, I just can't get it. I have to move my foot off that and move it back, or try to get my heel on it. It just don't suit me. Maybe my foot's built wrong, or maybe I wear the wrong type of shoe. I don't wear tennis shoes ever. I'm always wearing these boots that have a thicker heel on them, and they just don't work for me. But anyway, I just couldn't get over that. One nice thing Kubota does have is on the back of their joystick for the third function, they have a live third function with a 2-button system where you push it one way and it goes that way, you push it the other way, it goes that way. This tractor is pretty amazing, I think, for its size and what it can do. I think the loader that can lift 2,570 pounds at the pin, and I think it's 1,800 and something out at like 20 inches out in front of the pins. So not quite a ton out in front of the pins that's to full lift height. So it may pick up a ton down here next to the ground. Now that's pretty impressive for such a compact tractor. And it's I haven't looked underneath it, but it's got skid plates, and there's nothing hanging down underneath it. The steering cylinder is behind the axle. That's good, which I don't try to drive my tractor in stumps and all that kind of stuff anyway, but a lot of people do and are concerned about things hanging down. This tractor, you don't have to worry about it, and it's good and heavy too, because you want your tractor to be good and heavy. Pretty sure the tires are loaded on this tractor. I didn't have any issues with tipping today, carrying brush. But anyway, I need to put that top link back on before I forget. But yeah, this is a great little tractor. Oh, I almost forgot, you got ground level fueling on this tractor, which is nice. Our New Hollands, one of the 55s we have, you have to put it up here and you end up spilling fuel on the hood, which messes the paint up over time, and you know how that is. I can't stand messing the paint up on my hood of my tractor. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. This Massey 1755M. I enjoyed getting to use it this evening, and finally getting to maybe make a decision on the tractor that I would like to have around here this size, and I believe a Massey Ferguson is going to be it. If when I decide to buy one. And this has kind of pushed me towards deciding to buy one. I mean, it's just a handy thing to have, handy machine to have around to do the type of work that I do, which is driveways, ditching, grapple work, tree work, firewood, just all kinds of stuff that y'all have seen me do that I can use tractors for. And I'm not sure that I wouldn't use this tractor if I had a tractor this size. I may use it to pull something like a tedder. When the other tractors are busy and already hooked, this tractor's free. Hook it to a tedder and go do some tedding. Now you don't want to hook it up and drive it a long ways, because I think top speed's only like 17, 18 miles an hour on these tractors, so they're not very fast compared to the bigger ones, which now go about 25. So anyway, hope y'all enjoy the video. We'll talk to y'all later.
Now, I don't want anybody to get confused, so me and, shoot.